In this Star Wars Outlaws news update video, I will be sharing with you some pretty bad news. Outlaws 2 has recently been cancelled. That's right, a sequel to the game was in development and I've got all the details that have just been shared with us. But I also have some slightly good news in relation to more merchandise coming to the game and things like that, which people have been asking for. So if you're a fan of the game, please do stick around because there is a lot to get through, and I also want to get a bunch of stuff off my chest, just how badly this game has been treated, and the players that enjoy the game over the past few days. It's been diabolical, to be honest, and I really want to raise some awareness on the situation. Before we do dive into all of today's news though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future Star Wars Outlaws news updates. So, let's get started with the bad news. Let's get it out of the way. It is also the big news of the day, and it is that Ubisoft and Massive were looking at making a sequel to Star Wars Outlaws. This is coming from Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, who has been extremely reputable when it comes to gaming leaks, in particular stuff happening at Ubisoft. He previously correctly leaked various parts of Star Wars Outlaws before it was revealed and stuff like that. Late last night he said on a podcast that Ubisoft also recently cancelled Star Wars Outlaws 2, because that was planned and in the works. However, it did not enter production as much as I know. It wasn't really like set in stone, but yeah, very early in pre-production. They looked at Outlaws 2 and thought, yeah, let's not do that. I've had many comments over the past few weeks and months from those of you out there that enjoy content on Star Wars Outlaws, that enjoy the game itself, and you've been asking me, will there be more DLC? Will there be a sequel to the game? And I never thought we would get a sequel based on the initial sales of the game being so lackluster compared to other Star Wars games, but I was always hoping there would be more than the 2 DLC expansions, but based on what we've heard and what I've mentioned in previous videos, it's looking like we won't get more DLC. Things could change, of course, if the Switch version does really do well and a bunch of people miraculously go check out this game, but yeah, I think that's the end for Star Wars Outlaws at Ubisoft. Given that many of us didn't think an Outlaws sequel was even going to happen, the fact that we now know they were actually planning to make one and it's been cancelled hurts even more in my opinion. Of course, it was very early in production, it didn't get very far, it was still in pre-production, but the fact that conversations were had and it was something that developers were working on is a real shame, because now that's done. The story of Kay, Nix and ND5 is over, at least in video games. This isn't just a decision based on one thing, such as the first game not selling super well. It has continued to sell copies over time thanks to the updates and the DLC and general word of mouth. People have checked out the game and enjoyed it. It's been picking up a little bit of steam. The problem is, Ubisoft's reputation is heavily tainted. That's one of the reasons why this game struggled to get sales in the first place, and more details on that later on in this video. Plus, Star Wars as a brand just is not as strong as it was back when the first Outlaws game was being pitched and got greenlit to move into proper production. On top of that, Ubisoft as a whole are just going through a major change structurally, and wow, it's going to take them many years to really come back to where they need to be. They've cancelled a lot of projects. Outlaws 2 is not the only one they've cancelled. They've even cancelled stuff that is from their own IP, which Tom revealed in this same podcast. They are really slimming things down to focus on things like Assassin's Creed and the various Tom Clancy sub-franchises. It sucks because Massive have continued to keep great support for the Avatar game, the game that they released before Outlaws, and that's just got a new Game Plus mode, or it will be getting a new Game Plus mode in December alongside the release of Avatar 3, so I really hope that they can do one last big update that introduces New Game Plus, because Assassin's Creed Shadows also recently just got it, and it would be a shame that Outlaws did not receive it. I've read a bunch of comments on my videos and comments left on other videos, showing so much frustration behind the people that hated on this game just for the sake of hating on it and never gave it a chance, because people have checked out the game now and they actually really do like it. Which takes me into another topic I really want to discuss and get off my chest, because it has infuriated me so much over the past week or so. You may have seen a bunch of headlines on YouTube or in the news, on websites and things like that, just saying that Ubisoft's CEO blamed Star Wars struggling as a franchise for the reason why Outlaws failed. The headlines are wrong. All of these outlets and such just do it for rage bait and have missed out the full answer. The full answer actually had Yusuke, the CEO, say, yeah, it didn't do very well because of Star Wars as a brand being weaker. It did release just after the Acolyte after all, which was heavily hated by a lot of people, and for good reasons or not. I personally liked it to an extent, and yeah, Outlaws releasing after that, it just wasn't a good time for Star Wars. It was coming off the back of 3 disappointing seasons of shows, and then, yeah, Outlaws, Ubisoft. It wasn't a good combination. People are only now feeling a little bit better about Star Wars because Andor was so good, and Skeleton Crew was a pleasant surprise. But going back to what the CEO said, he actually blamed the lack of sales on the game's gameplay, which people haven't been mentioning. He was critical of choices his own company made and what they did. It wasn't just down to Star Wars. It was a combination of factors. There were so many factors that were the reason why Outlaws didn't do very well. As I've mentioned earlier on in this video, it was a mixture of the brand not being as strong, Star Wars just not hitting very well last year, plus Ubisoft as a whole, their reputation really put a lot of people off this game, even though it was vastly different from the Assassin's Creed games, the Far Cry games, and it did a lot of really interesting things like the experts feature. But also there were people that wanted this game to fail so much they made dozens and dozens of videos and propaganda destroying this game, spreading false information about it, and that didn't help either. And of course, yeah, the game launched in a not so great state. Performance-wise, it was much better than Jedi Survivor. Everyone seems to have forgotten that for some reason, just because a lot of people prefer the Jedi games. The gameplay was quickly reworked. They put out patches relatively quickly. They've put out good DLC, short but sweet, and they listened to a lot of complaints. They delivered on that. You can keep two-handed weapons now, and plus you can free aim on the speeder, stuff like that. Sure, all of those things contributed to the game struggling to start off with. That said, it wasn't just because Star Wars is in a bit of a tricky spot right now. It's not as popular as it once was. But that was a reason, and I'm tired of people saying that wasn't. I know personally people in the community and friends in real life that didn't check out Star Wars because they were very disappointed with Mando Season 3. They were very disappointed with the Acolytes. Ahsoka wasn't really good to them, and they just weren't in the mood to play a Star Wars game. Meanwhile, Skeleton Crew, they didn't check out because of this long string of bad projects. They checked out Andor because they liked Season 1, and they ended up really liking Andor Season 2, and now that's made them feel a bit better about Star Wars, so they are looking forward to more projects. Outlaws was just unfortunate where it released, behind things that were either rightly or wrongfully hated. And it just extends past the game. There are people that are checking out the game organically, reviewing the game positively because they felt like it deserved a good review. And you have pathetic people going after these people that like the game. Now, I suffered a lot of hate back in August last year when I was covering the game around launch and saying I simply liked the game. Even not even liking the game, just covering the game, people detested me for. But now, people that are checking out the game almost a year after launch are saying that, yeah, it's good on Steam, are now getting attacked by weirdos that are basically sniping the Outlaws Steam page for anyone that reviews it positively. The fact that this is what gaming has come to is just truly pathetic, and we should not have this going on. I've even seen it in the comment sections of my own videos where some of you will post comments how much you love the game, that it's your favourite Star Wars game, one of your favourite Star Wars games, or how much you like various parts of it, and people just respond to you hating on you for that. And it's crazy that these people would even click on a video about a game they hate or have never played, and then go after other commenters. So when I see those people, I block them and delete their comments immediately. I try to do it as quickly as possible because, for me, my community is no tolerance, any hate, stuff like that. It's an instant block. And I've honestly had to block like 1,000 people in the past year simply from Outlaws comments alone. It's been truly ridiculous. I don't stand for anyone attacking me or my viewers especially, so yeah, if you see anyone that's saying nasty things, try not to engage with them I will block them and delete their comments. That said, let's move on to something that's more positive, because I have had a bunch of people ask me, will there be some merchandise to do with Star Wars Outlaws coming in the future, like toys and such? And I have some good news. You can now purchase your very own Nix from the online Disney Store or Disneyland or Disney World. This plush is 15 inches in size and it includes a bunch of features. So it actually has touch sensors on Nix's head that activates sound effects of Nix, and his eyelids are motorized so they also move. The head, tendrils, leg, tail, and mouth are all articulated manually, and you do get the batteries included as well to power Nix. So I know on Reddit this has been a hot topic. Not everyone loves the look of Nix. Some people really do love it, some people don't. I understand it's controversial. That said, I think that it's good that they have actually made something at least. But that is not where it may end, which I really hope it doesn't. So Yakface, who is a social media and website about Star Wars toys and collecting and stuff like that, teased that there is a Nix and K toy coming down the line. Hopefully a Black Series figure. Fingers crossed. They deserve it. I really do hope it happens at San Diego Comic-Con later today. If not, it does occur at some point. If it does happen at San Diego Comic-Con, by the way, so make sure you are subscribed for that. But if it does happen in the future, I will also make a post. I really, really do hope they do K and Nix in Black Series or just any other sort of collector's item. That'd be pretty cool, because I know people have been asking for it. I've seen a lot of comments saying, I want a K and Nix figure, so fingers crossed. Sticking with merchandise, the art book is out in around a month's time, so next month the Art of Star Wars Outlaws will finally be released after a few months of delays for various unrelated reasons to the game and the book and such. So we've already seen a bunch of cool concept art, even some more recent stuff posted by the developers for the DLCs, Wildcard and A Pirate's Fortune, but this book is coming out soon, and I will be getting a copy to make a video on, so if you aren't sure if you want it or not, I can do a review on it for you. I'm very much looking forward to checking that out next month, and then after that, not too long after, the Switch 2 version of the game will also release on September 4th, and I can't wait to make videos on that, so stick around for that too. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I've talked about in this video, so please do let me know down in the comment section below, and remember to drop a like to help support the channel, subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars Outlaws videos, and if you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.